All right, let's talk about something we all use every single day, but maybe don't totally understand, our home's electrical system. All those little quirks you've probably been ignoring, well, they might be trying to tell you something really important.
So let's do a quick check. First up, do your lights flicker? Shh. You're just sitting there watching TV and the lights kind of dim for a second? Yeah, that's not just your house being quirky. It's actually a classic sign that a circuit is getting overloaded.
Okay, question number 2. Do you feel like you're constantly making that walk of shame to the breaker box? If just turning on the microwave or the toaster oven trips a breaker, that's more than just annoying. That's your system's emergency brake, and it's telling you it just can't handle the load. And for our last question, and this one's the most alarming. Have you ever smelled something weird, like burning plastic or this strange, fishy odor near an outlet? Seriously, that's one you do not want to ignore. So what are these signals really trying to say?
Well, these things aren't just random glitches. They're symptoms. We're calling them the ghosts in the wires. And they're signs of an aging electrical system that's really struggling to keep up with our modern lives. So let's get into what's actually going on behind those walls. The easiest way to think about it is this. Your electrical system is like your home's central nervous system. The main panel is the brain, right? And the wires are all the nerves, shooting power out to where it needs to go. But here's the catch. If that system is old, it gets overworked super easily. And that's when you start seeing all those problems.
And wow, this chart really shows you why. Back in the 60s, a home with a 100-amp service was totally fine. But today, think about it. We have giant TVs, multiple computers, smart everything, maybe even an EV charger in the garage. A modern home needs at least 200 amps. Trying to run today's life on an old system is like trying to power a supercomputer with a couple of AA batteries. It's just not going to work.
And these are the usual suspects we find in older homes. You've got those undersized panels we just talked about, but then there's stuff like aluminum wiring, which was used for a short time and has some known safety issues. You're also missing modern safety features like GFCI and AFCI protection. And hey, if you live near the coast, even something as simple as the salty air can corrode your outdoor equipment over time.
And this brings us to a much more serious point. We're moving beyond just inconvenience now. A flickering light might seem small, but it can be the first, quiet warning sign of a very real danger.
Let's go back to that aluminum wiring for a second. The danger is in the physics of the metal itself. See, aluminum actually expands and contracts more than copper when it heats up and cools down. So what happens? The connections get loose over time. And this is the key. Loose connections create heat, leading to outlet failures and fire hazards. That heat buildup, that's the tipping point from a small problem to a major disaster.
Look at this chart. It lays out the stakes pretty clearly. A fire hazard is the #1 risk from faulty electrical systems, by a long shot. Right behind that is the risk of electric shock, which is a big deal in areas that don't have the right kind of outlets. And even code violations. They're not just red tape. They're on there because they flag a system that's fundamentally unsafe.
So, what is that right protection? Well, you've probably seen these letters, GFCI and AFCI. They sound complicated, but what they do is pretty simple and super important. A GFCI is basically your personal bodyguard against electric shock, especially near water, like in kitchens and bathrooms. And an AFCI, that's your smoke detector for the wiring itself. It detects dangerous electrical arcs, a major cause of fires, and it shuts the power down before a fire can even start. There's a very good reason they're now required by code.
Okay, so we've established the problems are serious. But here's the good news. The solution is not some big, scary mystery. It's actually a really clear, professional process that's all about making your home safe again.
Any true professional is going to follow a straightforward 3-step plan. First, they assess. They use actual testing equipment, no guesswork, to find the root cause, and they give you a clear estimate. Second, they do the work, the professional installation, using quality materials that meet all the safety codes. And third, and this part is absolutely critical, is verification. They test everything they did to make 100% sure it's working safely and reliably.
And speaking of professionals, this part is absolutely non-negotiable. You have to hire someone who is licensed. In a place like California, that means a C10 license. And that's not just a piece of paper. It means they have verified on-the-job experience, they've passed tough exams, and they get ongoing training to stay up to date on all the latest safety codes. It's your guarantee of quality.
So, after all of that, what's the bottom line here? What should you really take away from all this? Let's boil it down to a quick electrical health check.
It really comes down to these 4 things.
1. Pay attention to the warning signs. Those flickering lights and tripping breakers, that's your house asking for help. 2. Your home's age is a huge clue. If it was built before the 1980s, it's probably a good idea to get it inspected. 3. Remember that the risks of fire and shock from an old system are very, very real. And 4. Getting it fixed by a pro is a transparent, straightforward process designed for your safety.
So we'll leave you with this one last thought. You know, you go to the doctor for an annual checkup, right? Well, your home's central nervous system needs one too. So let me ask you, when was the last time your home's electrical system had a proper checkup? It might just be the most important appointment you make all year.